Ladies and gentlemen, please get on your feet and help us celebrate for the very first time ever, Mr. and Mrs. Dwayne and Gabrielle Wayne.
You are already my queen, and we already have our princess. But today I'm officially pledging myself to you and our family forever. And I'm so grateful, and I'm so in love.
They say love is priceless. But when you step into the world of the most powerful black celebrities, you'll realize love is sometimes measured in millions of dollars and boundless displays of extravagance in weddings of the century. These aren't just weddings, they're silent battles of opulence, where every detail leaves ordinary folks jaw-dropped. From flowers flown in by private jet to entire cellars of champagne costing as much as a luxury car, everything is laid out to prove they're living on a different level. And today, I'm taking you on a journey to explore the 17 most extravagant weddings of black celebrities. You might find it hard to believe when you see it, but all this luxury is real. 17. Tina Turner, a $1 million wedding as grand as a fairy tale. Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll, with her explosive voice and stage presence, left millions in awe. She didn't just conquer audiences with timeless hits like Proud Mary, but also cemented her icon status with dozens of prestigious awards, from Grammys to electrifying stage performances. After decades of dedication, Tina Turner became a living legend, a woman who never bowed to adversity. And then, amid the glitz and the ups and downs of her life, she found a peaceful harbor. Erwin Bach, the EMI executive who greeted her at a German airport in 1985. They loved each other for 27 years, overcoming every challenge before deciding to turn their love into the most dazzling declaration. On July 21, 2013, at 73 years old, Tina Turner walked down the aisle, not to start a new dream, but to affirm a love that had stood strong for nearly 3 decades. The wedding took place at a luxurious villa by Lake Zurich, Switzerland, with 120 powerful guests like Oprah Winfrey and David Bowie, all chauffeured in a fleet of gleaming Bentleys. The setting was like a vivid painting of extravagance. 70,000 red and white roses flown in from the Netherlands covered the gardens. A glass-floored tent overlooked the shimmering lake under the afternoon sun. The menu was top tier, featuring Atlantic salmon, prime Angus beef, and glasses of 1988 Krug champagne costing up to $15,000 each. Tina shone in a Giorgio Armani gown encrusted with Swarovski crystals, while Erwin was dapper in an Armani tuxedo. A 30-piece classical orchestra played romantic melodies, and each guest left with an exquisite crystal statue of Tina Turner, a lavish gift that many later auctioned off for a high price. The estimated cost was $3 to $4 million, with flowers alone accounting for a fifth of it. But for Tina and Erwin, the price tag didn't matter because it wasn't just a wedding, it was a statement. Their love was worth the world's admiration. They lived happily together until Tina Turner took her final breath in 2023 at age 83. Erwin remains in Switzerland, cherishing the memory of an enduring love, continuing to preserve the immortal musical legacy of the woman who changed his life. 16. Cuba Gooding Jr. A lavish wedding that kicked off a 23-year stormy marriage. Cuba Gooding Jr., the Hollywood star who captivated the world with his explosive role in Boys in the Hood, wasn't just a standout in 90s cinema, but also one of the few black actors to achieve early success, opening doors in the heart of the film industry. On March 13, 1994, as his career soared, Cuba Gooding Jr. walked down the aisle with his high school sweetheart, Sarah Kapfer, a humble teacher. But instead of a simple ceremony, they turned their wedding day into Hollywood's most talked-about event at the time. A 5-star Los Angeles hotel became the stage for extravagance. 200 guests, including powerhouses like John Singleton and Ice Cube, arrived in a fleet of gold-plated limousines. The venue was drenched in 40,000 carnations flown in from Colombia, meticulously arranged down to every petal. An outdoor tent with intricately carved glass ceilings reflected dazzling lights. The menu was no less ostentatious. Alaskan king crab, top-grade Wagyu beef, and Chateau Lafite 1982 wine, each bottle worth $10,000, set on tables like an appetizer. Sarah dazzled in a Valentino gown adorned with 8,000 crystals, while Cuba wore a perfectly tailored Armani tuxedo. A 25-piece R&B band played live throughout the event, setting a vibrant tone for the luxury. Guests received crystal keepsakes engraved with the couple's names and date. Lavish but useless gifts, as many were left behind at the hotel. The total cost ranged from $1.5 to $2.5 million, a staggering sum for a wedding many deemed more about showing off than celebrating love. And then, after 23 years together, the glamour of that day faded. In 2017, they divorced over lifestyle clashes and Cuba's legal troubles. Despite the split, they maintain a cordial relationship for their 3 children. Today, Cuba Gooding Jr. remains in Los Angeles, still acting but no longer making the waves he once did, while Sarah Kapfer lives quietly, steering clear of the unnecessary drama that their wedding day perhaps unwittingly foreshadowed. 15. Harry Belafonte, a $1 million wedding at 81 that stunned New York. Harry Belafonte, the music legend behind the globally iconic Day-O, stood alongside Martin Luther King Jr. in the civil rights movement. He didn't just elevate calypso to new heights, but became a cultural icon and influential activist for over half a century. In April 2008, at 81, Harry Belafonte embarked on a new chapter with Pamela Frank, a photographer he met in the late 1990s at charity events. After 2 failed marriages, he found empathy and peace in Frank. But their wedding was anything but the quiet affair one might expect from someone in their 80s. A 5-star New York hotel turned into a rare spectacle of extravagance. Only 100 guests attended, but they were powerhouses like Reverend. Al Sharpton chauffeured in sleek limousines. The venue was filled with 20,000 white lilies flown in from South America, their fragrance permeating every corner. A custom stage was built in the ballroom where a live orchestra played Belafonte's legendary hits, from Banana Boat Song to Jamaica Farewell. The menu was lavish, featuring Kobe beef from Japan, paired with vintage wines from Belafonte's personal cellar, each bottle valued at $20,000, a figure that made even high-end restaurants shake their heads. Pamela Frank glowed in a Vera Wang gown adorned with real pearls, each hand-stitched. Belafonte appeared in a custom-tailored tuxedo, every stitch flawless. A 50-person choir sang, turning the event into a performance grander than a music awards show. Guests received signed Belafonte albums with a small diamond attached, a refined gift that many praised for its elegance. The estimated cost ranged from $1 to $2 million, with most spent on music and gifts. For Belafonte, this wasn't just a wedding, it was a way to declare that age couldn't stop him from living and loving on his terms. They lived happily for 15 years until Belafonte's passing in 2023 at 96. Now, Pamela Frank remains in New York, managing her husband's musical and civil rights legacy, holding tight to the memory of a late but radiant love. 14. Quincy Jones, a money-burning Beverly Hills wedding that shocked the entertainment world. Quincy Jones, the music maestro who worked with Michael Jackson and Frank Sinatra, boasts a slew of Grammys and global influence. Peggy Lipton, the iconic star of the Mod Squad, was a television sensation. 2 giants, 2 peaks of fame, met and created an unforgettable love story in the entertainment world. On September 14, 1974, when Quincy was at the height of his musical power, Beverly Hills witnessed a wedding that upended every standard of luxury at the time. A lavish mansion lit up the entire neighborhood, hosting 150 superstar guests, from Stevie Wonder to Diana Ross, arriving in a fleet of gleaming Cadillacs. The space was awash in 30,000 lilies flown in from Italy, their scent filling every corner. Peggy Lipton stepped out in a Halston gown encrusted with sparkling diamonds, each meticulously hand-placed. Quincy Jones wore a custom tuxedo, every stitch exuding power and class. The menu was far from ordinary: fresh Norwegian salmon, prime Angus beef, and Chateau Mouton Rothschild 1961 wine, each bottle worth $5,000 at the time, equivalent to a small fortune for many. A 20-piece jazz band played live throughout, immersing guests in an endless sound party. The total cost was estimated at $500,000 to $1 million in the 70s, equivalent to $3 to $5 million today. It was clear this wasn't just a wedding, it was a statement. Quincy Jones knew how to turn love into a legendary event. But that extravagance couldn't sustain happiness forever. After 16 years, in 1990, they divorced due to demanding schedules and lifestyle differences. Still, their two daughters, Rashida and Kidada, remain proof of a once dazzling love. Peggy Lipton passed away in 2019. Quincy Jones lives in Los Angeles, still making music, doing charity, and carrying the memory of a wedding night that once shook Hollywood. 13. Denzel Washington. A wedding and vow renewal so lavish it left Hollywood in awe. Denzel Washington, a cinematic titan with iconic roles, a skilled director, and a savvy producer, met Pauletta Pearson, an actress and musician who stood by him from his early Hollywood days. They met in 1977 on the set of Wilma, sparking a steadfast love that lasted 6 years before marriage. On June 25, 1983, their wedding took place in a North Carolina church with 200 guests. Denzel was gaining attention for his role in Saint Elsewhere. The wedding was warm and family-oriented, but still hinted at extravagance: custom-tailored outfits, fine wines, and a setting elegant enough to keep the press buzzing for weeks. But the real spectacle came 12 years later. In 1995, with Denzel now an Oscar-winning star for Glory, they held a vow renewal in South Africa. This wasn't just a ceremony, it was a mega event. Guests were flown in on private jets from the U.S., landing at a luxury resort transformed into a temporary city of gold. The event was graced by Nelson Mandela himself, a detail alone that sent the media into a frenzy. A gold-adorned 5,000-square-meter tent was erected, filled with 30,000 lilies flown in from Africa, arranged like an art exhibition. The menu featured venison from Europe, vintage South African wines at $15,000 a bottle. Many left half-drunk due to excess. Pauletta wore an Oscar de la Renta gown, sparkling with diamonds, while Denzel stepped out in a custom tuxedo, every cut exuding authority. A 100-piece orchestra played live, filling the air with soulful melodies. The budget was an estimated $2 to $3 million, a staggering figure for a vow renewal, but fitting for their stature. Unlike many lavish couples who later split, Denzel and Pauletta have stayed together for over 4 decades, raising 4 children and holding fast to faith and connection. Today, they live in Los Angeles, continuing their careers and proving that stardom and a lasting marriage can coexist. 12th. Russell Simmons. A beach wedding so extravagant it left guests stunned. Russell Simmons, the hip-hop mogul and founder of Def Jam Recordings, shaped an entire generation of music. Kimora Lee Simmons, a supermodel and fashion icon, embodied glamorous style. They met at New York Fashion Week in 1992, and despite an 18-year age gap, their romance between a music titan and a young model quickly became a media obsession. On December 20, 1998, at the peak of his power, Simmons threw a wedding that remains a symbol of excess. St. Bartholomew's Beach in the Caribbean became a massive stage, hosting 200 A-list guests like Jay-Z and Tyra Banks, flown in by private jet. 40,000 tropical flowers from Brazil formed vibrant displays, covering every path. A tent with a transparent glass floor was set up by the sea, letting guests dance while waves crashed beneath. The menu was the peak of wastefulness. Russian black caviar, vintage French wine at $8,000 a bottle, served non-stop until many were left untouched. Kimura wore a self-designed gown encrusted with diamonds, reflecting the Caribbean sunset. Simmons donned a Versace tuxedo, stepping out to hip-hop beats mixed live by a private DJ, making the beach pulse with music. Guests received gold-plated baby fat bags, coveted gifts that some left behind at the resort, overwhelmed by luggage. The estimated cost was $2 to $3 million, mostly spent on guest travel and decor, all for a day no one could forget. But extravagance doesn't guarantee longevity. After 11 years, they divorced in 2009 over lifestyle clashes and Simmons' infidelity. Their 2 daughters are well raised, and they remain friendly. Now, Simmons lives in Bali, focusing on meditation and business, enjoying calm after years of chaos, while Kimura rules the fashion runway in New York. 11. Magic Johnson. A $3 million wedding that left the NBA stunned Magic Johnson, the basketball legend with 5 NBA championships with the Los Angeles Lakers, is a sports icon and powerful entrepreneur. Cookie Kelly, his college sweetheart, stood by him through every triumph and trial. On September 14, 1991, Lansing, Michigan became the center of attention with a wedding not just luxurious but ostentatious, dubbed the $1 million wedding of the decade. Held at the city's grandest church, it was draped in 80,000 tulips from the Netherlands, forming a 10-meter floral arch that filled the air with fragrance. 300 guests, including NBA and entertainment heavyweights like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, arrived in a 100-meter-long Rolls-Royce convoy. The reception at a top-tier 5-star hotel featured a menu of melt-in-your-mouth Japanese Wagyu beef paired with Krug Clos du Mesnil champagne at $12,000 a bottle. Cookie wore a Vera Wang gown with 5,000 hand-stitched pearls, captivating the room with every step. Johnson sported a custom Armani tuxedo, walking beside her to live jazz from a 30-piece band. No recording could match. Guests received Patek Philippe watches engraved with their names, gifts so valuable some were quietly sold weeks later to offset vacation costs. The total cost was estimated at $3 to $4 million, with much spent on flowers and gifts, luxuries not everyone understood the need for. Shockingly, just months after the wedding, Johnson announced his HIV diagnosis, making that glamorous day the last golden moment before a grueling battle. Yet, instead of breaking, they've stayed together for 34 years, raising a son and sustaining happiness. Today in Los Angeles, Johnson runs a real estate and media empire, while Cookie writes books and does charity, hailed as the woman who turned an NBA love story into a living legend. Gishanti Eddie Murphy. A $4 million wedding that shocked Hollywood with unbelievable extravagance. Eddie Murphy, the king of comedy and Hollywood screens, made the world laugh with Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. Nicole Mitchell, a stunning model, entered Murphy's life at the height of his fame and wealth. On March 18, 1993, New York's Plaza Hotel exploded across headlines with a wedding the entertainment world called the most lavish show of the year. 500 guests, including Hollywood elites like Arsenio Hall and Halle Berry, arrived in a 50-meter-long limousine convoy that took over an entire street. The hotel's ballroom became a faux park with an artificial lake at its center and a floating stage. 60,000 black roses from Ecuador formed floral walls, their scent so intense some guests had to step away to breathe. Nicole stepped out in a Givenchy gown with 2-carat diamonds, sparkling under dozens of camera flashes. Beside her, Murphy wore a custom Tom Ford tuxedo, striding confidently like he was on an Oscar red carpet. The 10-course menu featured Canadian lobster, melt-in-your-mouth Angus beef, and Chateau Margaux 1982 wine at $15,000 a bottle, poured without limit. A 40-piece funk band played all night, the bass shaking the floor. Guests received miniature gold statues engraved with their names. Sadly, many were left behind in the ballroom, too heavy or puzzling to take home. The costs soared to $3 to $4 million, mostly for flowers, gifts, and staging, all to create a Hollywood peak moment everyone had to talk about. But behind the glamour were cracks. The marriage lasted 13 years, ending in 2006 amid infidelity scandals and lifestyle differences. They have 5 children and maintain a friendly co-parenting relationship, but their lives have diverged forever. In 2025, Murphy lives in Los Angeles, engaged to Paige Butcher, continuing his acting career. Nicole leads a quiet life in California, leaving behind the memory of a wedding that stunned Hollywood but became a symbol of fleeting extravagance. 9. Lawrence Fishburne. A wedding with helicopters like a Hollywood blockbuster, Lawrence Fishburne, a cinematic giant with his mark in The Matrix, is not just an actor, but a powerful director and producer. Gina Torres, a sharp television actress, entered Fishburne's life like a radiant spark after his previous marriage ended. On September 20, 2002, the Cloisters in New York turned into a veritable Hollywood base, with 200 A-list guests like Keanu Reeves and Samuel L. Jackson flown in from Manhattan by helicopter. The venue was awash in 45,000 purple orchids from Thailand, covering every corner and lining the paths, creating a sea of flowers stretching to a glass-roofed tent overlooking the Hudson River. Sunlight reflecting off the glass made the scene both dazzling and blinding. Gina Torres glided in a Monique Lhuillier gown adorned with pearls, her graceful steps met with relentless camera flashes, turning the moment into a blockbuster premiere vibe. Beside her, Fishburne wore a perfectly tailored Brioni tuxedo, his gaze confident and proud. The menu featured Norwegian salmon, perfectly seared Kobe beef with a secret sauce, and 1990 Cristal champagne at $10,000 a bottle, poured like water. A 50-piece orchestra played the Matrix soundtrack, giving guests chills like they were on a film set. Each guest took home a gold-plated Mont Blanc pen engraved with the couple's names, though some later appeared on auction sites, proof that luxury can sometimes be discarded. The estimated cost was $2 to $3 million, largely for flowers, helicopters, and gifts. But extravagance couldn't save a failing marriage. After 16 years, they divorced in 2018 due to grueling filming schedules and growing personality differences. They have 1 daughter and maintain a good co-parenting relationship. Post-split, Fishburne lives single in Los Angeles, pouring himself into film. Gina Torres, also single, focuses on acting in LA. The wedding that once wowed Hollywood for its go-big attitude now fades into a distant memory amid their rift. 8. Michael Jordan, a $12 million wedding that left Florida reeling. Michael Jordan, the NBA legend and global sports icon, not only dominated the court, but became a billionaire entrepreneur owning the Charlotte Hornets. After his first marriage ended, he met Yvette Prieto, a Cuban-American model, at a Miami nightclub in 2008, quickly falling for her undeniable allure. On April 27, 2013, Palm Beach, Florida, witnessed one of the most expensive and hyped weddings in entertainment history. A colossal 40,000-square-foot tent was built, resembling a city within a luxury resort. 300 guests, including powerhouses like Tiger Woods and Spike Lee, arrived in a Bentley convoy, turning the posh neighborhood into a luxury car parade. Inside, 100,000 white roses from the Netherlands covered walkways, ceilings, and a floating stage by an infinity pool. Yvette Prieto glowed in a Jaton couture gown with 15,000 crystals, her every step sparkling. Jordan, in a tailored Dior tuxedo, carried a proud, defiant look, as if saying, "No one does it bigger." The menu was pricier still: fresh Maine lobster, top-grade Wagyu beef, and Chateau Petrus 1982 wine at $20,000 a bottle, poured endlessly. On stage, Usher and Robin Thicke electrified the crowd. But the real shocker was the gift: a pair of 24-karat gold-plated Air Jordans in custom-engraved wooden boxes, a testament to the NBA legend's flair for excess. The estimated cost of $10 to $12 million landed it among Hollywood's priciest weddings. Unlike many lavish marriages that crumble, Jordan and Prieto have stayed strong for 12 years. Today, they live happily in Florida with their twin daughters, staying low-key. Jordan runs the Hornets, while Prieto focuses on charity. 7. Will Smith. A $1 million wedding that couldn't save an open marriage. Will Smith, the box office king of Independence Day, a multi-talented star in acting, music, and production, reached the pinnacle of fame before entering a headline-grabbing marriage. On December 31, 1997, the Cloisters in Baltimore lit up as Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's wedding exploded like a New Year's firework. 150 powerful guests, from Tisha Campbell to Martin Lawrence, arrived in armored limousines. The venue was filled with 50,000 peonies from Japan, their scent overwhelming. A massive tent featured LED screens looping Smith's iconic film scenes. The menu matched the spectacle: Alaskan king crab, prime Angus beef, and 1995 Dom Perignon champagne at $8,000 a bottle. Jada dazzled in a Bagley Mishka gown with pearls, while Will looked sharp in a Versace tuxedo. A 30-piece R&B band kept the energy high all night. The estimated $2 to $3 million cost made it a go-big icon of 1990s Hollywood. Sadly, by 2016, they separated after numerous conflicts. Now they live separately in Los Angeles, staying connected for family, but the glow of that wedding remains a distant, lavish memory. 6. Jay-Z, a secret wedding that burned millions. Jay-Z, the legendary hip-hop mogul, genius producer, and billionaire entrepreneur, made his mark with Roc Nation and global hits. On April 4, 2008, his Tribeca penthouse in New York became a money-spending hotspot for a wedding kept secret until the last minute. Only 40 carefully selected guests, including Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin, arrived by private helicopter. Over 70,000 Thai orchids adorned the venue, with Swarovski crystals lining the tent ceiling. The menu was top-tier: beluga caviar, Kobe beef, and Krug Clos d'Ambonnet champagne at $15,000 a bottle. Beyoncé wore a gown designed by her mother, Tina Knowles, encrusted with real diamonds. Jay-Z, in a tailored Tom Ford tuxedo, joined her for an exclusive duet performed only that night. Guests left with a bottle of wine from Jay-Z's private cellar, a nod to his limitless spending. The estimated $2 to $3 million cost turned it into a hushed Hollywood legend. 17 years later, Jay-Z and Beyoncé remain united, weathering storms and dominating entertainment with their power and vast wealth. 5. Serena Williams, a multi-million-dollar wedding with jaw-dropping extravagance. Serena Williams, the tennis legend with 23 Grand Slam titles, a global sports icon, and powerful businesswoman, always commands attention. On November 16, 2017, New Orleans Contemporary Arts Center became a billion-dollar venue. Exhausted from just giving birth, Serena still threw a Beauty and the Beast themed wedding that outdid imagination. 200 A-list guests, including Beyoncé and Kim Kardashian, arrived in a Rolls-Royce fleet. The venue was covered in 100,000 red roses from France. A massive faux castle served as the stage. The menu featured Maine lobster, prime Angus beef and 1998 Dom Perignon champagne at $12,000 a bottle. Serena wore a $30,000 Versace gown with diamonds, while Alexis Ohanian looked sharp in a Gucci tuxedo. New Edition performed live. The estimated $3 to $4 million cost, mostly for flowers and staging, made it a wedding of the century. 8 years later, they remain happily married, living quietly but richly in Florida with cherished memories. 4. Nick Cannon. A wedding with Mariah Carey, extravagant beyond imagination. Nick Cannon, the multi-talented Hollywood star, actor, host, and music producer, always stirs the media. On April 30th, 2008, the entertainment world was rocked when Cannon and diva Mariah Carey wed at Carey's private Windermere Island estate in the Bahamas, only 6 weeks after going public. Kept secret until the last moment, only 30 powerful guests, like Oprah Winfrey, arrived by luxury yacht from Miami. The venue was adorned with 100,000 white orchids flown in from Hawaii. The beach was transformed with golden sand imported from the Sahara for a unique effect. The beachside feast featured giant Maine lobster, 1990 Dom Perignon champagne at $10,000 a bottle. Mariah wore a Nile Camilo gown with diamonds, Cannon in a tailored Gucci tuxedo. Each guest received an engraved Rolex. The $2 to $3 million cost, mostly for sand and flowers, was staggering. But the lavish wedding didn't ensure lasting happiness. After 8 years, they divorced over lifestyle differences and infidelity. Now, Cannon lives in Los Angeles with 12 children, while Carey enjoys a lavish single life in New York. 3. Alicia Keys. A Monaco seaside wedding that shocked everyone. Alicia Keys, the R&B legend with multiple Grammys, creator of Fallen and countless hits, is also an actress and influential arts activist. On July 31, 2010, Keys and producer Swizz Beatz held their wedding at a luxurious seaside villa in Monte Carlo, Monaco. Keys, at her career peak and pregnant with their first child, welcomed 80 close guests, including Queen Latifah and Deepak Chopra, arriving by private yacht. The scene was breathtaking, with 50,000 white roses from France covering a floating stage in the Mediterranean, lit by stunning light effects. The menu matched the setting: Mediterranean lobster, prime Wagyu beef, and 1996 Bollinger champagne at $10,000 a bottle. Keys wore a Vera Wang gown with sparkling pearls, while Swizz, in a Tom Ford tuxedo, doubled as the DJ. The estimated $2 to $3 million cost covered flowers, lighting, and venue fees. 15 years later, they remain a scandal-free power couple in Hollywood, still deeply connected. 2. Gabrielle Union, a $5 million wedding that turned Miami into a golden kingdom. Gabrielle Union, the Hollywood star of Bring It On and Bad Boys Descent, is an icon of strength, allure, and success, captivating global audiences with her talent and grit. On August 30th, 2014, Miami was rocked by Gabrielle Union and NBA superstar Dwyane Wade's unbelievably lavish wedding. 200 powerful guests, from LeBron James to Kevin Hart, arrived in gold-plated Rolls-Royces. A private castle became a tropical kingdom with 90,000 golden orchids from Brazil, and a glowing glass-floored tent sat over an artificial lake. The menu was pure decadence: Caribbean lobster, Japanese Wagyu, beluga caviar, and 1996 Dom Perignon champagne at $15,000 a bottle. Gabrielle wore an 8-kilogram Dennis Basso gown with 12,000 Swarovski crystals. Wade donned a custom to Squared 2 tuxedo. A 30-piece R&B band played all night. Guests received 24-karat gold-plated wine bottles from Wade's cellar. The $3 to $5 million wedding was overwhelming in its grandeur. Over a decade later, they've overcome infidelity rumors and marital challenges through honesty and therapy, remaining a power couple in Miami. 1. Halle Berry. a fairy tale French chateau wedding with a bitter ending. Halle Berry, the Oscar-winning Hollywood star and iconic beauty, captivated the world with her talent and tumultuous personal life. On July 13, 2013, Halle Berry and French actor Olivier Martinez stunned the entertainment world with a wedding so lavish it was likened to a royal affair. Pregnant at the time, Berry and the suave European Martinez chose Château de Condé, a 13th-century castle in Valery, France, to dodge American paparazzi. 150 A-list guests, including Oprah Winfrey and Taraji P. Henson, were flown in by private jet from Hollywood. The chateau was filled with 50,000 French roses, dusted with 24-karat gold, a 7-course meal by a 3-Michelin star chef, and vintage Napoleon Vineyard wines at $15,000 a bottle. Berry wore an Elie Saab gown with 10,000 crystals, Martinez in a custom Armani tuxedo. Guests received 1,000 wine bottles. The $8 to $9 million wedding was as grand as a princess's tale. But just 3 years later, in 2016, they divorced over conflicting schedules and heated custody disputes. Today, Berry lives single in Los Angeles, while Martinez splits time between the U.S. and France, maintaining respect for his ex-wife for their son. We've just taken a whirlwind tour through weddings so extravagant they're dizzying to hear about. Each story is a slice of the elite world where money, power, and love blend into unforgettable moments in entertainment history. But sometimes behind the million-dollar price tags lie untold shadows, incomplete joys, and couples who couldn't hold hands until the end. What do you think of these wildly lavish weddings? Are they a dream come true or a crazy display of excess? Drop your thoughts below to discuss. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next stories, where the truth about the celebrity world keeps unfolding before your eyes.